Welcome to The Reasons We Smile with Dr. Kvitko, the show that brings you man-on-the-street interviews, celebrity guests, groundbreaking research, and heartwarming stories about the reasons we smile. Our show is also known as everything you've always wanted to know about dentistry, but we're too numb to ask. Hello, I'm General Dentist Dr. Kvitko, and thank you for joining me today.
The following views and opinions do not necessarily reflect those of this station, its staff, management, or parent company. To hear a replay of this show or one of the great shows that previously aired, log on to thereasonswesmile.com or iTunes, keyword Dr. Kvitko or The Reasons We Smile. Listeners should not use Dr. Kvitko's comments and advice in place of an actual dental exam.
Brighten your life with a smile that shows the professional touch of Dr. Kvitko.
Time now for The Reasons We Smile with Dr. Kvitko. Call 459-9769 to discuss your dental issues. Now, here's your host, Dr. Kvitko.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to The Reasons We Smile. I'm Dr. Kvitko. Thank you so much for joining me. It's going to be a great show. Today is episode number 532. And we have in the studio with us former attorney Brett Adams of Adams Partners Limited, providing sports and entertainment representation and team and venue consulting services. So we're going to bring Brett on here in just a second. Oh, before we get started, let me remind you, if you'd like to follow me on Twitter, it's at Dr. Kvitko. If you'd please go to my office Facebook page and like us, that would be awesome. It's Dr. Kvitko and Associates. Also, all past episodes, complete with video, are available at thereasonswesmile.com, and we're streaming live on Facebook, although I'm seeing here that it just says low network connection, so we're going to go ahead and push another button. We'll see if that'll work. Okay, hey, before also we get started, I'd like to remind you, if you're a dentist with at least 3 years experience, please give me a call because I'm looking for a dentist. I'm looking for an associate. It's 614-262-9588. Or you can send me an email at bkvitko@aol.com. All right, now also, in about 10 minutes, we're going to be giving away free flowers from DeSantis Florist, so you'll have a chance to call in. The number is 614-459-9769. You might want to pre-program that into your phone, 614-459-9769. We try to make the questions easy. And so if you're just paying attention, you will know the answer. All right, so like I said, I have with me in the studio Brett Adams. Hey, Brett, how are you? Thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Doc.
Okay, you're very welcome. It's really interesting. It's going to be fun because you're an interesting guy. I tried to get you on the show a while ago, and you told me you were just a farm boy from Circleville, and I had no business asking you to be on the show, and it turns out you weren't really. You were kidding. Is that true?
That's true.
Okay, let's make sure we get the microphone up to his mouth there. And okay, so one of the questions I have is you help venues attract nationally known singers and performers, right?
A little bit of that.
A little bit of that.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you do that? I mean, I couldn't do that.
Well, it depends on the venue. You know, we're working with Fortress Field down in Obetz, and Obetz built a $20 million facility down there that's yet to be discovered by the general public, and when they do, they're going to be very impressed that people have a different connotation, different impression of Obetz, and they do very well financially because of the industry, the shipping industry down there, and they built a fantastic stadium venue on the old Columbus Motor Speedway.
Yeah, they call it Fortress Obetz, right?
Fortress Obetz.
And the name comes from the fact that it's these old shipping containers. They use a lot of those to build the buildings, right?
Right.
Yeah, like a fortress. Yeah, no, it's pretty neat. I was with you at the Fashion Meets Music Festival last year. We had our mobile rig. We were providing free dental care to volunteers and road crews and any musicians that wanted to volunteer. And it's really neat. I got up early. I slept there. I got up early and I went and I walked around. I was walking in the morning just for exercise and walking around the Columbus Motor Speedway. You can still see the wall. Part of it's there.
Right. And you saw what a big production something like that is.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's huge. So you're going to do it again?
We're going to do it again.
Do we have a date yet?
We're going to take a year off. We're going to do an actual formal announcement. The stadium is working on a new staging, so we're gonna do it in 19.
Oh, okay. So they're under construction.
Correct.
When you did it last year, you had to have portable stages, and that was a big hassle.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Now, now you're also a sports agent. In fact, you represent Chris Spielman, you represent Yolanda Harris, you represent George Carl, who was the manager of the Colorado Rockies, right?
No.
No?
George is retired now. He was a longtime NBA coach.
Oh, I said that wrong.
Yeah, that's all right.
But
That's
you
all
did
right.
represent
you're a
him.
dentist. You're not a sports agent.
Well, we can talk a little bit about that too, because you're going to learn later. We actually did some dental work on Brett, and he's still smiling at me. So I guess we didn't do too bad, or he would be wanting to beat me up or not want to be on my show at least.
You did great dental work. We should talk about that first.
Okay,
Because
it's up to you.
I just want. We didn't. I was a paid customer, so my endorsement of you and my experience is not tainted by anything, because I was really, really impressed. You and I have known each other professionally for a long time,
Right.
in a couple of business relationships, and when I needed a surgeon from my longtime dentist, I didn't realize that you actually did this kind of work, and your office personnel, the TVs above which I've never seen in a dental office in my entire life, how I was taken care of. And I don't think nobody there knew me or knew our business relationship. I mean, I think they treat everybody that way. And it was spectacular. It was probably, the best professional service from a medical professional that I've ever had.
Really?
Well,
Well, that's really nice to hear.
And,
That's really nice to hear.
So I couldn't, and the attention that you took, and I heard you in another room talking with the same detail of explaining what you were doing, how you were doing it, why you were doing it, which was pretty impressive, and just watching you work. Plus I didn't realize how large that office. I mean, I don't know how many dental suites you have, but it's a huge facility.
Yeah, we have 10, and from the street, you really can't tell because it goes all the way down Cook Road. It goes sideways, too.
Right.
And, well, thank you. No, I appreciate that. It's funny because I feel like I explain things pretty well to people. I take the time to do that. And yet, we'll still get those reviews where it says they didn't explain it to me. And I'm like, were you not listening?
Yeah. Now, don't leave your staff out of this, because your staff was incredible.
Thank you. And they'll appreciate that. And, I've always had the mantra, hire nice people, and you can teach them the part of the job they don't already know. But if their parents didn't teach them how to be nice, there's probably nothing I'm going to be able to do about that. You agree?
Absolutely. They were very pleasant, very pleasant.
And you were pretty nervous.
Well, a little bit.
Usually it's the big, strong type A guys that are just the most nervous. I think my producer here, Fitz, he can attest to that.
We have a low pain threshold, and I told you that going into it, so I just wanted to be sure that we were on the same page.
Exactly. All right. So now, so how do you get to become a sports agent? Because you just say one day, oh, I'm going to represent an athlete? How does that work?
Well, you one of two ways. I mean, you get very lucky, like I did, or you toil away at a big agency. And I am trailer trash from Circleville, and
that's what you called it, trailer trash. I knew there was something.
And but I say that very affectionately, because I'm very, very proud of. We have a farm back there, which we go on the weekends. I'm very, very proud of it. Still have probably my most sincere relationships are people that I went to high school with, and not in my professional life, but back in my home.
You still know those people?
Absolutely, absolutely. And you go down there and you go to the farm and you get on the tractor, you play on the bulldozer, and it's great stress relief. And anyway, back to the issue of how you get there. I was a frustrated athlete, a horrendous athletic career, although I played, and wanted to get involved in sports law. So the idea was to get a law degree and go that direction. And when you get out of law school, you have the catch-20. Out of law school, you have the catch-22 of how do you get a client? If you don't have a client, who's going to hire you if you don't have a client?
Right.
And I fell into it as some have, is I came out of law school doing criminal defense work, and I was close to the programs in Ohio State, and I ended up representing, ironically, we're here in Upper Arlington, I represented 3 Ohio State wrestlers that had taken not stolen, had borrowed a street sign in Upper Arlington for a dorm room. And unfortunately, that is referred to as a felony in the state of Ohio.
In Korea, it's a death penalty.
Yeah, well, that's true. And so then I represented a couple of quite a few of the athletes at Ohio State. One who a basketball player who chastised me every time I mentioned his name, so I'm not going to mention his name, that got into a little trouble at Ohio State, and developed that relationship, and then ended up with a football player, Byron Lee, that I represented, was drafted by the Philadelphia Eagles, and then Jay Burson, who signed with Houston.
Cool. Yeah, he actually Jay Burson helped me with one of my charity events. We were raising money for Down syndrome, my golf outing.
He's a good man. That's the other very, very positive. And again, being very lucky in my career, been able to really represent some good people, some good persons. But as we know, you and I know, Doc, intimately, we've also had our share of bad apples that we have shared in terms of representation and some dental work as well. And I won't bring his name up.
Okay. I wondered if you were going to. Now, for those of you watching, we have a bunch of photos that are scrolling of Brett with a lot of famous people. Jay Leno, Dr. Phil. Let me think. Can you name some of them?
The doctor or the Jay Leno story is really kind of a funny story in that at the time I had George Karl was coaching had coached the Seattle Supersonics and was fired at the Supersonics and was very derogatory, negative towards the team, the general manager, the ownership group, and the NBA fined him at that time record numbers of fines. I mean, 25 years ago, $50,000, $75,000, $100,000, which is significant amounts of fines, and so Leno called, and they had me on the wing of the show. They had George interviewing George, and they would ask George a question, and they would pan to me and ask, and I was to nod or say no.
If he could answer the question or not?
The question. And so the reality was that I said no every time, but yet George
Still
answered every question.
Wow.
So, but it was part of the bit. It was funny. It was a great experience, and again, my kids were excited that 2 times my kids have been excited that anything that I've done in my life. One was when Green Day was on the show that I was on, and then when I was on Dr. Phil, because I could have done other national news programs, sports related, my business. They didn't care, but once you were on Dr. Phil, you reached the pinnacle of parental success.
Hey, it looks like it's time for us to do Dr. Kvitko's question of the day. Remember, I said you're going to know the answers if you've been listening. So my guest today is Brett Adams. He is a sports agent, talent agent, representing the likes of Chris Spielman and Yolanda Harris. He personally launched and underwrites the Fashion Meets Music Festival. He is a former attorney and is from Circleville. And his word's trailer trash, although that doesn't have to be part of your answer. All right, so before we do the contest, though, here we'd like you to listen to this.
This station will not be held liable for any contesting during The Reasons We Smile with Dr. Kvitko. Participation in the contest allows Dr. Kvitko to record and broadcast your name and call. 1 winner per household. Prizes are non-transferable, cannot be substituted, and are subject to taxes and fees. This station cannot be responsible for the inability to enter the contest, whether due to equipment malfunction or telephone difficulties. All decisions of Dr. Kvitko concerning this contest or eligibility are final.
And now it's time for Dr. Kvitko's question of the day.
All right, and the question of the day is, remember, you're going to have a chance to win flowers from DeSantis Florist. They're going to be delivered to your place of business this Tuesday afternoon. Okay, and the question is, which of the following describes my guest, Brett Adams? He is a sports agent, talent agent, representing the likes of Chris Spielman and Yolanda Harris. B, he personally launched and underwrites the Fashion Meets Music Festival. C, he is a former attorney and is from Circleville, or D, all of the above. All right, the winner's going to receive those free flowers. Please call us at 614-459-9769, 614-459-9769. So go ahead and call now.
You won't believe it though. I wanna hear your mind, and there's nothing else in the world tonight. She said people don't take the time. Hey, people don't take the time.
Hi, I'm Keith Carlos, winner of America's Next Top Model and star of Chocolate City 2. Look for my smile on the big screen this summer, courtesy of Dr. Kvitko. Stay tuned to The Reasons We Smile with Dr. Kvitko, the world's most interesting dentist.
Hi, I'm Dr. Kvitko, general dentist and host of the Reasons We Smile radio and roadshow. Did you know that you no longer need to visit several different dental professionals to get more complete dental care? We handle everything from cleanings and orthodontics to restoration, implants, and smile makeovers, all in my office. And now we have 2 locations. Get the most advanced technology and procedures available today. It's more complete dentistry.
Visit worldsmostinterestingdentist.com for more info about Dr. Kvitko.
Dr. Kvitko, let's go!
Hi, this is Richard Simmons. Dr. Kvitko's here, and he's going to help you with all of your problems. Are your teeth yellow? He can fix that. Are you missing a tooth? He can put a new one in. How is that?
That's very good. Thank you, Richard. All right, we're back. We're doing Dr. Kvitko's question of the day. We don't yet have a winner, so if you were thinking about calling but decided not to, now's your chance. 614-459-9769. 614-459-9769. We'll leave the phone lines open while Brett and I continue to talk. Okay. So, Brett, besides Yolanda Harris and Chris Mielman, you have other clients. Those are just the 2 that came to mind.
I do. I was just going to try to clarify. You're going to get me in trouble with everybody else. Now, listen, and it's not that Chris and Yolanda are not the greatest human beings on the planet, and I'm fortunate to represent them. But I don't want to make everybody else mad by not naming names. But anyway, we were talking off the air about how you got into how I got into the agency business, and how fortunate I am to represent people like Chris and Yolanda specifically. Since you've highlighted them, Chris and I were together the other day, and Chris said, how long have you represented me? 20 or 30 years?
That's what he asked you?
You know, when we've got to talk about a decade and neither one of us can remember whether it's 20 or 30 years, it's a long time.
Yeah.
But it's been a great relationship. He has been an unbelievable source. After you develop a relationship that long, there are many times that Chris is offering the advice. It's not always coming from. It's not always coming from.
I think you told me the story about when you were in a motorcycle accident and he came to your hospital room.
Yeah, it's.
You want to tell that story?
Well, yeah, he walks into the hospital, and I'm in intensive care, and it's not like, well, how you doing, or it's. You get on another motorcycle, and I'm going to find another lawyer. And he turns around and walks out.
That's cool.
So to make the point, and there's no. It's always black and white with Chris.
Hey, we do have a winner. We have, I believe she has the right answer. We have Jennifer on the line. Hey, Jennifer, how are you?
Good morning. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for calling in. Do you have the answer to Dr. Kvitko's question of the day?
Yes, it's all of the above.
All of the above. Awesome. Hey, stay on the line. What do you do for a living, Jennifer?
I'm retired.
From?
I used to organize events for Ohio Health.
Okay. Oh, she was the party planner for Ohio Health. That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Everybody loved Jennifer, huh? So, hey, you stay on the line. We'll get the information. We'll make sure you get those flowers from DeSantis, okay?
Okay, thank you.
And thank you. All right, so yeah. Okay, now, you are, I didn't know this, but apparently you're working behind the scenes to help save the crew, right?
Well, I describe it this way. I have been very critical publicly of what has happened with the efforts to try to save the crew. I have been involved in one facet or another with the crew since they came to town. I represented Tom Fitzgerald one of the initial coaches. I've represented a lot of former players. Mark McCullers, the former GM, is a good friend of mine. In fact, Mark fired 2 of the coaches I represented, but we still maintain a great relationship even to this day. But my frustration has been and let me clarify this by saying that the owner has not exactly come into this thing with clean hands. He's made his own mistakes, but he has said to the city, this is what I want. I want more corporate sponsorship, and I want a place to build the facility.
Right.
And none of that has been offered. It's been, well, we'll find investors to buy the team. He's not going to sell the team. The team has increased in so much value that there is no local investor that's going to pay $150 million to buy that team and then build a stadium.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then we made this horrendous mistake of having the city of Columbus and the state sue him. Now, I think the best way to alienate an owner and make him go away is to sue him. And the law has no teeth. It perhaps even unconstitutional. It doesn't. All it does was to provide. The team has to provide notice of leaving, and you repay the calculated tax dollars that were provided to you. And why they would do that at this point, I have no idea. DeWine is running for governor. Perhaps that's the play. I don't know specifically, but the last thing you do, if you want to screw up a good deal, is you get lawyers involved, because that's what's going to happen.
And that's coming from a former lawyer.
But I still am an attorney. I'm retired.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to continue. I don't need my law license to do what I do, and I don't want to continue to pay practice premiums or CLE. And I made a good transition, so I'm still an attorney.
Right. Okay, got it. That's right. That's a good point.
Skills, I don't think, but it's been very frustrating to see how it has been handled. It's almost been more of a PR aspect than getting your hands dirty and getting this guy and pinning him down and saying, what do you want?
Isn't some of that, though, posturing? You do this to bring somebody to the table or to say, hey, let's talk?
You always posture, but this has been pathetic posturing. They prepared, the city and the Columbus Partnership, they had a press release that was ready to go before the meeting in New York was even, the outcome of the meeting was determined, because unfortunately, I think the public officials here are more worried about their reputation if the deal goes south than they are trying to legitimately attempt to save the team.
But didn't Precourt have a thing built into his purchase contract that said he could move it to Austin, and nobody knew that at the time?
He did. It was a good bamboozle on his part. It really, it was good. But
hey, we have to go to a break. We'll pick this up after the break. All right. Hey, you're listening to The Reasons We Smile with Dr. Kvitko, episode number 532, and we'll be right back.
You can't take me as I am, not just a little bit. I don't know who to be. I'm a paper cup, baby, of the sea. I know you see it too, 'cause you're too much for me.
This is Clark Kellogg. Stay tuned for more of Dr. Kvitko.
Estás escuchando con Dr. Kvitko aquí en su estación favorita.
Hi, I'm Dominique Reichert. Like what you hear? Why not use the show to promote your product or service by becoming a sponsor? Call 614-262-9588 to learn how. That's 614-262-9588. Call now.
Hi, I'm Dr. Kvitko, general dentist and host of the Reasons We Smile radio and roadshow. I've been honored to help several famous people get a perfect smile, like Keith Carlos and Dominique Reigard from America's Next Top Model, and Ted the Golden Voice Williams from right here in Columbus. Isn't it time you had a celebrity smile? It costs less than you might think, and most of the time, it can be done in one visit. A new smile can make a world of difference.
Visit worldsmostinterestingdentist.com for more info about Dr. Kvitko.
I'm Grandpa, and I go to Dr. Kvitko, and I still have all my teeth. Real ones. Where's my glasses?
All right, we're back. You're listening to The Reasons We Smile with Dr. Kvitko. It is show number 532. We have in the studio with us attorney, Brett Adams, who happens to be an attorney still but just doesn't practice law. And he is the main partner of Adams Partners Limited, providing sports and entertainment representation and team and venue consulting services. Brett, if somebody wants to reach you, how do they?
Go to the website.
Which is?
AdamsPartnersLTD.com.
Okay.
And they'll find all the propaganda on there.
AdamsPartnersLTD.com. And so now, when we were talking about all the famous people I see you have your picture with, one of them that's not here is Donald Trump. And you did meet him.
I met him, and I don't want to. Let's stay out of the politics.
Right. Oh yeah, we won't talk politics. I mean, it doesn't matter if I voted for the guy or not. I think it'd be cool to have my picture taken with the president. So.
You know, I tell all my clients. I mean, you can't. You're going to lose half the population whether you take one side or the other.
Because we're almost 50-50 split right now.
Yeah, we're almost 50-50 split, and I'll tell you, I was very fortunate to, and I say this, not being a Trump supporter today, but 10 years ago when I had this dinner, I had a different impression, and I was involved in this deal, and I got invited on a Thursday to come to New York for this charity event, and my partner said, well, Donald Trump will be at the table, and I said, well, I really don't want to. I'd rather go to my farm this weekend. He calls me the next day, and he goes, hey, I got the lineup. I got the table set, and he goes, Michael Douglas, John Boyd, Caroline Ray will be at the table, and I said, well, listen, I'm going to go. I'm going to go because Michael Douglas is at the table.
Mm-hmm.
And so get on a plane, go, and it's a red carpet affair. And Trump is next to me for 4 hours, doesn't drink. At that time, he was a germaphobe, so he shakes your hand with your wrist.
Okay.
He was very pleasant. It was not any of the discussion that you see today. And most people that know him, I mean, I had one experience with him, but most people say that he has changed tremendously. But I would have voted for him the next day.
Uh-huh.
That probably shot myself after the fact, knowing now what happened. But anyway, the point I was making with that dinner is that it was one of the most incredible evenings because all we talked about was sports, because all these guys wanted to talk about was sports, and Trump had some issues with boxing, and so I said so I kind of dominated the conversation to some extent, and we were all on first name basis. So I said to Michael Douglas, I said, Michael, my wife has a picture of a ruler from high school. I go, do you mind calling her? And no problem, absolutely, let's go outside and do it. So we go outside the hall. I call, my wife doesn't answer her cell phone. I call my daughter cell phone, and she knew who I was with. And I said, where's your mom? I got Michael Douglas wants to talk to her on the phone. And she goes, Dad, are you drunk? And she hangs up the phone. And I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? And then I called Diane again, and then he got on the phone with her, and I went back inside. They were talking so long. So anyway, it's just one of the very lucky, fortunate things that has been able to experience because of what I have done in this practice.
Interesting.
It's very lucky.
Now, we have a minute, I believe. You are interested in changing the legal system. Can you give me just a quick synopsis of what you would like to see change?
Well, I'm very outspoken about it. I mean, the common thread, and this doesn't endear me to judges or prosecutors, but what do you call the last person in your law school class, which is judge? Because in Ohio, it sounds funny, but until you experience the legal system and you realize that there's so much incompetency at the levels, the judicial level, because we elect judges,
right.
And I'm not saying that we appoint judges politically. I don't care if my judge is a Democrat or a Republican.
Me neither.
If they're competent.
Right.
And the problem is that if you have a Republican governor, they appoint Republican judges. Democratic governor appoints Democratic judges, regardless of experience.
Right.
We have judges, Doc, right now in this county that have never, ever cross-examined or a witness, but now they're on a bench and they're determining objections. It's outrageous. The system, if people really knew, and if lawyers were more outspoken to talk about how incompetent the system is, it would be a whole new awakening, and that's my effort to bring awareness to the public of how, I don't want to say corrupt, that's a strong word, it's not corrupt, but
it's a messed up system.
Exactly.
Yeah. Hey, it looks like we are out of time, and by the way, I've experienced what you're talking about, and so I would love to see that change, but we're out of time. Maybe we can do this again sometime.
Sounds good.
Okay. Sounds good. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Dr. Kvitko and visit my office Facebook page and like us. It's Dr. Kvitko and Associates. Remember, all past episodes complete with video are available at thereasonswesmile.com. Be sure to tune in next week and every week right here on your favorite station. Goodbye.
This is Carly Red from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, the hit show on VH1, urging you to tune in next week with my dentist, Dr. Kvitko.
If you're interested in learning more about this and other dental health topics, go to thereasonswesmile.com to access full episodes of Dr. Kvitko's show.
If you'd like Dr. Kvitko, the world's most interesting dentist, to speak at your next event, please call 614-262-9588. That's 614-262-9588, or send an email to speaking@thereasonswesmile.com.